In this video, we're going to look at the cp command, which allows us to copy a file, and we're also going to look at how to use a wildcard with that. We're going to look at the mv command, which allows us to move a file. We're going to look at the mkdir command, which allows us to make a directory, and we're going to specifically look at the p option with that. And we're going to look at the rm command, which allows us to remove a file or directory. And we're going to look at the r option for that, which stands for recurse. So I'm logged into the CiderMill server, and if I hit pwd, you're going to see that's where I'm at. I'm in my home directory. And if we look at the folders in the home directory, they're all shown up here. And I had that playground folder. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go into that again to demonstrate some of these commands. Okay, so inside of there, I have directory 1, directory 2, directory 3. And if I go into look at directory 1, I have a file in there called userbin output.txt. Now what I want to do is I want to copy that file. And there's a couple ways I can do it. First thing I can do is I can cd into directory 1. And you can see I'm inside of it now. And then I can just do cp and grab the file. Remember, I can just type like 2 letters and hit my tab key and the rest will fill in. So I put in, or I grab that file and then I want to copy it to, say, something called copy.txt and do that. So CP is very simple. It just copies one file to the other. If I ls that now, you can see I have my copy text and I have my user bin output text file. Okay, so that's one way I can do it, but I don't actually have to cd into my directory 1 to make this happen, as long as I understand where the files are at. So let me go ahead and I'm going to remove that copy. By the way, to remove something is just rm. We're going to look at that a little bit more in detail later. And so I'm going to get outside of that, and now I'm back to where I can see directory 1, directory 2, and directory 3. Now I want to do the same thing. I want to copy dir1, then I do / and userbin output.txt. So you can see all I need to do is just write this dir1 / so that's the directory I want to go into, and then this is the file that I want. Okay, and then what I do is, where do I want to put it? I want to put it into dir1, and I want to put it into copy.txt. If the file is not there, it's going to create it, which is mostly what copy will do. It will create. And so if I go ahead and I press enter there, and I go ls dir1, you can see it did the exact same thing. And the reason I'm trying to make such a point about this is because a lot of times students think that they have to actually go into the directory to do anything, and you really don't have to. You just have to understand how you can get to that directory. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you. There's another thing with this copy command that's pretty interesting, is using what's known as wildcards. So for example, I can take all the files from dir1 and copy them over to dir2. So if I ls into dir2 right now, you can see there's nothing there, it's empty. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to copy, I go cp, and I go dir1 / Okay, so that's getting them all, and where am I going to put them? Into dir2. And now if I go ls dir2, there they are. Now we also have a command called mv, which stands for move, and we can move a file to a location. So let me go ahead and clear my screen, start back at the top here. And the first thing I want to do is I want to move the file. So I'm going to go mv. I want to move all the files from directory 2. Okay, I'm going to go / wildcard, same thing. And I want to move those to directory 3, because I have a directory 3 there. You need to have the directories created to be able to move the files to them. And if I go ahead and hit enter like that, and I ls directory 3, you can see there's my files. And if I ls directory 2, they're no longer there. So move will actually move them, when copy will make copies of them. So I want to do one more thing here with move, because move can actually move a file, and it can also rename a file. Okay, so if I want to rename that copy file, I can go mv, and I'll go into dir3 and grab that copy file, and I'm going to rename that in dir3, and I'm going to name it to scott.txt, just like that. Okay, and if I ls dir3, there it is. Okay, so what I did is I just changed the name of it. So it's kind of a trick in a way. Instead of moving it to another location, I'm actually changing the name of it. It makes sense, because they're basically saying, okay, you're moving this file to this file, and because it's a different file name, you thus have changed the name of the file. So that's kind of how MV works. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to look at the make directory. So what I'm going to do is just do mkdir, which is for make directory, and I'm going to go dir4, all right, and do that, and now you can see I made my fourth directory. It's actually pretty simple. It's going to make the directory wherever make directory is located. But now I want to do something different. What I want to do is I want to do make directory. I'm going to create a directory 5, and within directory 5, I want a child directory. I'll just put child. Okay, and I want to create directory 5 and a child directory. I hit enter, and it can't do that. Well, the reason it can't do that is because just using make directory by itself, it can't do multiple directories. However, we can have it do it by just going mkdir -p for make the parents, and then we have dir5/child. Now, let's see if we have it. Well, there's our dir5, and if we ls into dir5, we have the child. So we can see it works just fine. Now let's take a look at the last one, which is remove. And for this one, we're going to just remove a file. Very simple to do. So I can go rm, and I'm going to remove a file from dir1, the copy txt file. So I'm going to remove that. I just hit enter, and it just removed it. Okay, no problem at all. Now, for removing a single file, that works just fine. However, let me try this. rm dir5. It says cannot remove dir5 is a directory. So that's kind of a problem. Not only can it not remove dir5, but it can't remove child either. Well, the way we get around it is rm-r dir5. And now it's gone. Okay, so remember that recursive part of rm. So a lot of these little optional commands I'm showing you are just the more common ones you're going to find. Obviously, when you look in your book, there's a lot more that you can deal with. But I'm trying just to focus on what is going to be most commonly done. Okay, to summarize, we looked at the copy command, which allows us to copy a file, and we took a look at how the wildcard works, which allows us to copy all the files of a directory into some other directory. We looked at the move command, which allows us to move a file and also allows us to rename a file. We looked at the mkdir command, which allows us to make a directory, and we also looked at that p option, which is basically the parent option, so we can make parent directories and subdirectories. And we looked at the rm command, which allows us to remove a file or directory, and specifically we focused on the recurse option because that's the only way you're going to be able to remove a directory.